Hello, friends. Welcome to the table where we do tarot. I am Dale, and I'm going to go through a little. Um, if I was doing a reading for you in person, what I do is we both share some sea salt. I eat some and you eat some, and that's to increase our electrical conductivity because salt is an electrolyte. The heart functions on electricity. And I think that the heart knows things quicker than the mind does. So I think to power the heart up a little bit with some really good minerals that are very good for your body as well, just it's just making us a little bit healthier. And then I put a little Florida water on both of our hands, and that just provides some like spiritual protection. Also, I'm going to light a little bit of sage and some Palo Santo. Okay. My gosh, it smells like the most buttery. I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm going to do that offline. Okay. And then I'll be right back. Okay. I'm gonna give you a little love with this sage. Okay. It is dyed black. I got it from Five Below, but it is gorgeous and it has like little dried flowers and little pine. It's not pine needles, but it's just amazing. Sage smells incredible. Okay. So I'm giving you a little love with that. And then Palo Santo. I'm telling you, you can get all these things from Five Below. And I don't know. I wish this stuff wasn't so cheap because I do not want these sacred things to be cheapened. Okay. But if it gives people more protection, and people are spending their money on things that they're trying to link themselves in more with their heart and more of the things that are in the unseen, then so be it. Hopefully, nature will forgive us and hopefully we are not abusing its power. Okay. When people clear their throat during tarot readings, they always say that we're trying to open up the throat chakra. So probably that's what's going on. Also, it just feels like my throat is needs to be cleared. So hang on a second. Okay, better for now. All right, so I'm just gonna set this stuff off to the side, and I have it in a little fireproof bowl. Okay, so it can take its time to burn out and just give us that good, right? Those good feelings. So we're going to start out with the Goddess Tarot, and I'm just going to shuffle it up. And I can move this back and forth a little bit, but I do have a microphone with a cord on it. So that gets in our way a little bit. And you don't ever really get to see what I'm doing, but just in case you think I'm pulling the wool over your eyes and doing something shady up in here, um, I think that that's kind of like a waste of time for us to think that way, but it's okay. Sometimes people just like to see the shuffling done. All right, so this is our first shuffle with this deck. So it might not shuffle easily. We might get a lot of, I don't allow for reversals unless they just come out that way as they fall. But we might get a lot of cards that sort of like stick together in the same place, but really they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Okay, let's leave it at that and see if my short little fingers can shuffle these big cards. They're not so big. The other ones are, um, what is it? The Sacred Rebels Oracle. But let me focus my attention here for right now. All right, let's see what these ladies want to say to us. We got these cards are just gorgeous. All right, and I don't like to do anything like asking questions or whatever. I feel like uh, whatever it is that I kind of allow to speak messages through me. It knows who we are. It knows that we're homies. And I don't have to do all these like special magical things to, prayers and things like that. I feel like we're so at one together that this is just my way of doing it. Okay. I'm like, a lot of times I think that spirituality is nerdy and I'm not trying to get all into you know, trying to do what's comfortable for me. So anyway, Six of Swords is what is at the base of the deck here right now. And the Six of Swords is all about finally freaking moving on from old stuff, old limiting things. Okay. So let's move on. All right. And let's see what we have. I'm not laying it out in any particular way, but I will just go through and show you what we got. We have the King of Pentacles. Okay. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the these are the major arcana. Two is wisdom. Sarasvati. I will read the major arcana from the book just because we need to learn more about these goddesses, or this deck would not have been created. 8, Justice, Athena. I freaking love Athena. I think she's amazing, except for the whole thing that went down between her and Medusa, and maybe we'll talk about that at another time. 7, Movement, Rhiannon. Um, and that to me is like kind of what's going on with the 6 of, oh my gosh, okay. And so the Queen of Pentacles is right underneath that 6 of Swords card, and that's what it shows me. Once I start digging into the deck, then I'm like, oh, let's just keep going. There's King of Staves, so I try to just kind of focus. But if you want to bring in more abundance in your financial world, you have to move on from old stuff that people set you off path with, right? You know what your path is. And when other people like told you that you weren't good enough and all these other things, or like that's never going to work for you, um that's it held you back for way too long, way too long. Okay, so that's what this movement is about. You have to move in order to prove to people that you knew what was meant for you. Okay, all right. And then we have the Princess of Staves, which is the Princess of Wands, and we have the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so let's talk about this if we're going to read it through. Shall we just read it like this in the direction? Now it's like kind of in the reverse order. But the 8 of Pentacles is all about doing your craft. And this is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to finally commit to myself. If this is the overarching theme about moving away from all the other stuff, because you know what your inner commitment is, and you know that that is the thing of abundance that like you were built with, born with, and only you can know that, you and like the inner God can know that, then you have to do it. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I like. I've been working at so many things little by little for so long and never committing to them because everything kept just like falling around me, falling around me, falling around me. So, and it's like you don't want to keep investing yourself into something that nobody is supporting you in if the time doesn't feel right. But what that looks like to everybody in your outside world is like procrastination, always sitting back on what you're doing. So when I'm doing these readings, I'm just telling you what they mean to me. I'm telling you about my life, and it's going to have a similar meaning to yours because we all have similar repeating stories. They just show up with different characters, different times, different places. The Princess of Staves is like, it's like a young woman who has this creative idea. And if I were to think about who I was as a child, I knew exactly what I was supposed to do. I knew exactly what I was meant for. I knew I wanted to work with nature. I wanted to work with like the mysteries that we can't like just know and go to school for. I had no interest in sitting in a classroom, right? But my parents were smart and they wanted, I had the brain to be smart and I had the brain to do everything that I was being told to do, but I was so fucking bored. That's like why I'm chewing gum right now is like I would have to chew gum in school and I would have to think about a million other things, which they call ADHD, which is not. It's just like what you have to do in order to keep your body in one place is your mind has to jump from thing to thing because you're not doing what you really want to do. And so you have this like itchiness for movement, right? This number 7, which is 7 is just a sacred number through and through. It's the number of luck. It's like I even feel like it's associated with yellow or gold, which I don't know. I'm not saying that I know that to be like a certainty, but I'm seeing that this Rhiannon, she's got a yellow dress on, and I was just wearing a yellow dress yesterday with like this white sort of like cape thing over it, which hers is yellow, but it has similar flowers and things on it, like mine did. But she also has this like red purple cape over top of that too. So anyway, let's keep moving. Um, 8 is the card of justice. So these probably came out together because it goes 7 and then 8. So this is Athena. I just adore her. Then we have 2 wisdom, Sarasvati, and we are going to read those ones from the book. And we have 10 of Pentacles. But I feel like what it is, it's like you have something of like this Holy Trinity, right? It's like almost like this downward arrow that's pointing you to wealth, to big, big wealth. Okay. And that is it might be literally like a man, a partnership with a man that helps you to grow this 10 of Pentacles, which is like abundance for an entire group of people to be shared with others. Okay, hang on, what's up? Hang on. When I experience things, I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. 941 is what I just saw on the timer, first off. And I've been seeing that number for a long time. I've seen 149, 914, mostly 941 and 149. So I do not know what significance that holds. I just know that I see it often enough for it to get my attention. But anytime that anything happens to me, I'm going to try to explain it to you, because when I watch other readers, I'm like, what are these things that you're doing? Like when you say you're talking to your guides, like, do you hear them? Do you see them? What is it? Like, I want to know what is the mystery behind it, because I feel like everybody's capable of doing the same kind of things. It's just that some people, it comes naturally in a way that you don't really have to develop. But then, like, other people can mimic that by developing their skills in the same way that somebody who has it naturally is just, it's like from them, it's just like this flowing fountain when there's this natural gift towards something. And so you might not have something naturally, but you can develop all those same things just by knowing what's going on. That there's no like book to follow on life of how things are going to lead you to success. But anyway, the point is that I had like a tickle feeling in my throat that didn't wasn't really caused by anything. It was right here and on the right side. It's considered your masculine side. So as soon as I was talking about like a masculine and I feel this, what that tells me is that there is like a lower level masculine who is not wanting me to say the things that I'm saying, right? Because that little tickle, it's not going to do anything to me permanently. But if you want to know what it looks like in the real world when other people are like trying to get into your energy space or thinking about you or whatever, it shows up. It shows up in a physical way, okay? And so that's all it is. It's just somebody trying to interfere with your shit, but don't worry about it, okay? This was already graced by the goddesses, okay? It's like that. We're going to read into that right now and see um what is on your side, okay? So I'm going to pause it and open to the book. Oh my God. When I see people talking about like clearing things or like the spirits coming in and their nose tickles and stuff like that, it's like, okay, I'm like itchy, my nose tickles, I keep yawning, and like spirit burps are like these burps that don't actually clear, but it's like this sort of, listen, you have to understand that your body is this physical vessel that shows everything. It only has a certain amount of ways to show you something, right? So you have emotions and you have like physical ailments or things that happen with the body, and they could be very well from like your stomach might not feel good because you like ate something bad, but also it could be because you're overthinking and you have all kinds of neurons in your stomach. And so you are doing something that is causing like overthinking can cause pain in your stomach. And right now, even as I'm saying it, I can like feel a little discomfort here, a little discomfort in my lower back. Is that because I've been sitting here for a long time? Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying that your body is sort of like, it's just this thing that's showing you symbols of what's going on in areas that you can't see. Okay. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of like stuff, things going on. And I promised myself, which would be my guides, my whatever, that I would open up everything and try to take more notice of things and talk about it while I'm on camera so that you can see as I develop these things that there's nothing mysterious about it. Because I can't stand um people who are like air spiritual. Okay. So like I'm grounded spiritual. I'm a Capricorn. I love the earth. I'm just very grounded. And if you don't have facts to show me, I'm like, bro, I get what you're saying, but you are way up here. You are living in some fantasy land that like I can't connect with. Okay. So I do not, I just I'm not turned on. I'm not attracted to people who are just too in their thoughts and too out there. So I am going to give you a very grounded perspective from which to feel this through with me, right? To see, why does this even matter? Why am I even spending my time doing this? Why are you spending your time watching this? It's because we all know that there's way more going on than just the things that we see. Okay. If everything were so easy and you were just supposed to like, hey, choose a thing to go to college for, and then you can get a job in it, and then you'll just feel like going to work every day for that thing. It's like, that's not how things fucking work. Okay. All right. And then we got to like bully ourselves into keeping on that pursuit, even though it's not easy. The things that are meant for you, they're easy. They're easy. Okay. All right. It doesn't mean that there's no work involved in them. It's just that the work is enjoyable. All right. So let's talk about movement. Movement is Rhiannon. Rhiannon. I don't know how to say it, but I will figure it out. The British horse goddess Rhiannon is believed to appear to her followers while riding an unearthly white horse. In this way, Rhiannon symbolizes the unceasing force of movement which pulls all of life along with it. Okay, so she was this lady, all right, this goddess. And then we're moving on to, oh, and it was the meanings for it are movement into the next phase of life. If you are feeling impatient, don't worry. Transitions will go smoothly. Career advancement, good timing. Reversed. Impatience, disregard, or insensitivity to the signs around yourself. Okay. And it's like we get super impatient when things aren't moving, but once things start to move, we're like, oh my God, am I even ready for this? It's like appreciate the impatience. Every time you feel impatient, transmute that feeling into like excitement to where you can get rid of that impatience feeling by just going to do something in the world. Because listen, what I'm trying to say is that I am constantly feeling impatient, but I'm also not um okay, my right hand is itching, which if I want to take that to be symbolic of something, it's like my masculine energy is itching to actually do things because my feminine energy has not been inspiring the masculine within me to actually take action because my feminine is like not focused. It's not focused on what she wants, right? So because there's so many things that I want. So I'm trying to say it's not just like in school where they tell you buckle down and focus on this one thing. There's like something bigger to that because I don't want to invest my time and energy and emotions and self into something that I don't like anymore. I've had so many things like just break apart in my life that really shouldn't have because I was willing to put energy into it and so much more effort than what I saw other people having to do around me. So, yeah, so there's been a very big hesitancy for a long time. And sometimes it's like that's linked in with astrology and all kinds of other things. I watched a woman at church just a couple of days ago speaking her story. It was based in trauma, right? It's a trauma based story, but she finally stopped telling that story about the actual trauma because, okay, and my left ear is itching right now, right? And so that's my feminine side saying, like, maybe listen, okay, because it's representative of the fact that I was listening to what she was saying. And it's that there's a point at which people don't know your story. So then you start saying it. They just kind of see what's going on in their outer world. And now my right ear is itching. I don't know why these things happen. I'm just reporting what's happening. Okay. Um, you hold back often because you don't want people to know what's going on in your world because you don't want them to judge other people harshly or you harshly because everything in your world is somewhat representative of who you are and you don't want to be judged negatively because you know in your heart you are not a bad person and you don't want to be stuck in bad situations, but you're man, we're like taught to be loyal to things, and if you aren't loyal to them then you're a piece of shit, right? And that's just not how it is. It's not how it is. Okay, so you have to learn through sometimes a lot of trauma that God doesn't want you to stay in that trauma. The trauma is the way out, okay? Because humans are really good at enduring pain and we will endure it until we just can't anymore. We just can't. But some people have a high pain tolerance, like myself. It's like because my masculine mind is so strong, it's like, listen, pain is only temporary. We can just endure this and like keep going. And that proves how powerful we are. Okay, so let me just keep moving forward. What was the point of what I was saying with, oh, that you eventually, so first you have to tell the story about your trauma if you're ever willing to do it, okay? But then you have to move beyond that trauma story. And that's what this woman was teaching was that like she doesn't really talk about the trauma anymore. She talks about sort of like the labels of the trauma of like, yeah, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. But it's like those things have happened to all of us. So why is it that I'm still here talking to you? And it's that not everybody is going to go through so much pain and brokenness that they eventually have to take that path. You're taking it in other ways. You are creating a world for the people around you that like my legs just are getting so cold right now. I don't know what's up with that, but you are creating something, you're creating a safe space by telling your stories in the small environment that you are in or listening to other people's stories to create cohesion, okay, and community around you. We don't live in the communities that we should be anymore. It's not the way that it should be, okay? And so we need to figure out how to deal with that in this world. So I'm going to deal with it by moving on and talking about justice. So number 8, justice, Athena, this strong warrior goddess right here. Let's see what this says about her, and then maybe we'll talk more about what I've heard from her in the future. Okay. Justice, Athena, often depicted with an owl as a symbol of enlightenment, the Greek goddess Athena's brilliance of reason was said to be as penetrating as her clear gray eyes. Well, that's funny. Do you see the color of my eyes? I always say that they're blue, but people say that they're green or gray or whatever. Um, I've never heard that Athena had gray eyes. Skilled without equal in the art of battle, she gave just protection to those in need of defense. Meanings: the need to take a more detached viewpoint of a troublesome situation. Imagine yourself as wise as Athena. Are you being fair to yourself and those around you? The ability to defend oneself so that justice may be done. Reversed, frustration with bureaucracies or organizations, impatience with red tape. That is my fucking life. That was my life. Okay. So I have to tell you, I was a veteran. I was in the army for about 9 years. I did actually go to war. I did actually go out on like a PSD, which is like a security team. I learned Arabic before going, so I was like, for me, I'm always battling against injustices, and I've gone through a lot of them because sometimes the hardest battles that you have to fight are the ones for yourselves. You are willing to battle for other people because it's just easier. It's just easier that way because how hard is it to rally troops on your side to fight the battles of injustice in your life, okay? It's just not that easy because everybody knows you for what they know you as, right? It's like my parents see me as their daughter, my sister sees me as her younger sister, my friends or like your coworkers, they're not going to see you as anything special because you are in the realm of where they exist. So it doesn't matter like what they think about you. They're not going to be the ones to really support you, but they will be there to give you little pieces of reality. Okay. So you don't get on your high horse, but if you really love those people and you want to help them and you want them to see the true you, it means that you have to move forward, right? We have movement, we have justice. You need to create justice for the people around you by finding justice for yourself first. Okay. And then there's wisdom, right? It was like those two goddesses brought us down to the goddess of wisdom, which was Sarasvati, and we are going to look her up, and that's number two. And it's like we have two goddesses that are bringing us to the number two card, and let's see what that has to say. Wisdom, Sarasvati. Sarasvati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge and culture, is the embodiment of true wisdom. So we have wisdom again, and like Athena, they were saying it has the owl because of her wisdom. And I feel, if I were to think about this personally, I would feel like these are energies that I have always tapped into. It's not like they are me. It's not like I am wise. It's not like I am the warrior. It's like that these energies always exist. And there are certain ones that you are going to feel tapped into throughout time, okay? And so that's what I I would be I might be described as wise by the end of my life, okay? Even in some people's view right now, but not everybody would think that, all right? So anyway, wisdom. Sarasvati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge and culture, is the embodiment of true wisdom. Sitting upon her lotus throne, she symbolizes spiritual knowledge as well as the refinement of the arts. Meanings: an interest in spiritual knowledge, a teacher who will share with you what you seek, or perhaps you are that teacher. Wisdom gained in a graceful manner. Reversed: lack of trust and intuition, superficial knowledge, fear of looking within for answers. I'm telling you, I have had the most incredible people that I have run into in this life, and they're just, you know, I don't like sitting in a classroom, but I love learning from people because every single person has a wise sage within them, and it's within the things that they are passionate about. And a lot of people don't even tell you what they're passionate about because it makes them feel nerdy and because you might not care what they're passionate about. Okay. So I want to leave that message off there. I want to move these cards out of the way, and then I want us to get into the Sacred Rebels Oracle, and they can give us a little message, okay? So I will leave that there so I can take a picture of wisdom for the thumbnail because I think that that is what. Look at the first card, okay? So I haven't shuffled these up yet, but look, after the storm, I'm telling you, I have been through a lot of actual storms that have like flooded my life, flooded my car, flooded my home, flooded my child, like all. my whole entire family, like my children, my ex-husband, it took away all of our things. So I'm telling you that like the wisdom of detachment, because storms remove everything from your life, like, greater way to learn detachment than having everything taken from you. And then what are you going to do? You either survive, you thrive, or you go into like a depression or something, you go into something, you go into addictions, you go into other things, like almost because they keep you safe, because you don't want to go through those things. Then the uncertainty of like having all of everything ripped out from your life and like not knowing when you're going to be okay again, feeling like you're abandoned. It's one of the greatest things that you can have, though, is like abandonment, because it forces you to see that there's something going on within you that you have to come to terms with. And it's the only place that you're going to be able to get guidance. There might be these things that are out there that say, like, we're here to help you. It's like, yeah, well, what about when they can't help you? Because I've had all kinds of things that are supposed to be there to help me, and they just don't come through for one situation or another, because that's just how it is. Like, I don't know. I just won't get into more of it. But okay, that one really wanted to fall out, but it wanted to cross. So let's see. Let me just do this at the bottom. 17, what is already with you? Okay. So that is going to be like the overarching message. Then what I want to see is what we got here and then what crossed it. We have 36, listening for truth, and that's with the seashell. And it's like, what would you rather do? Listen to a conversation on your freaking phone or listen to a seashell? If you want to listen to somebody talking on your phone, I applaud you for that, because this is where I want to be. Okay. And you have to like be somebody who appreciates listening to nature, listening to what is within the seashell. It's not an actual voice. It's something, though. It's the sound of water. It's the sound of the ocean, which is inspiring. And look at what we got again. When? After the storm. Okay. I am going to read all the meanings of these. 39, free from judgment and free to love. Okay. And that can only happen when you're listening to the truth. That can only happen like after the storm has taken everything and everyone out of your way, so that all that is left is the wisdom. What is it holding on to? It's like, I would say that that's like a Merkaba, which is like the vehicle that your soul travels around through. And then what was this that's crossing it? 3, inspiration. It came out across this way. Okay. So it's like, I get that. I totally get that. But look, there's like bees in here. It's like bees and honeycomb stuff. But this one is like butterflies. All right. And that's saying what you already have. Oh my gosh. Look at this. What was underneath that? Another owl. Okay. So it says, be the hunter, not the hunted. And that is like, it's what's already with you. Okay. You are the hunter. You have to find things, unless you're just going to let yourself die. Right. And that means like spiritually dry up and die, or your inspiration. Right. Oh my God. I know it's on the card. I know I read it, but that was not what empowered me for saying it. You, how can I say this? Your inspiration comes from within. Your hunger comes from within. How are you going to know what to hunt for if you don't have a hunger? If you're not like waiting until you're hungry? Like in this time and place of reality, we can eat whenever we think about something. We think that we're hungry because we have access to all kinds of stuff. But if you wait for your hunger, your body will call for the real thing that it wants. It's not just going to call for a hunger or what's already in you. See, this is what's already with you. Okay. If you are just consuming sugar and processed things whenever you want, that is what is calling to your hunger for what it wants next. Okay. It's an imitation. It's not what your body really needs. You need to wait until you are inspired, where you have a hunger for that, or you can't be the hunter. You're going to be the prey, right? It's like, if you want to go out and get DoorDash or something like that, you don't have to go out for it. That's what I'm saying. You are the prey. They are preying on you. It is your downfall. So go out and get the things and make the things that inspire you, that you are inspired to get, and really put the effort in. Okay. Because it's not like we're actually having to go out and hunt for our food or grow a garden or even like prepare all of our meals. Okay. We have access to so much, and we're so lucky, and we are so quick to freaking get on that phone and complain to somebody or listen to somebody else's complaints because we're not listening to the sound within the seashell. We're not listening to the inspiration. So let me pause it and find out all of these meanings and we will get to it. Hang on. Okay, they're very long, which I admire for the fact that this Alana Fairchild wrote these things. So I'm not going to go through and read the meaning of all of them. I will do the 17. What is already with you? Okay. What is already with you? You hold in your hands that which you seek. In other words, the pair of spectacles you have been rummaging around the house for are sitting on top of your head. What you are seeking, perhaps by exploring far and wide, is actually right under your nose. You may not like this idea. It is so much more wonderful to imagine there is something yet to find. Okay. Of course, there is unlimited creative potential and always something more that can be. Yet in this instance, it is important for you to know that you already have what you need and what you want. That doesn't mean it's the end of the story, although it does ask you to give up the fantasy that a perfect solution lies in the future somewhere. Instead, it asks you to acknowledge that everything necessary for success is with you now. All you need to do is accept this and act with what you have available to you. This is good news. This particular chapter has a happy ending in store. That ending will become real for you just as soon as you stop trying to skip forward to the next chapter. This is really speaking to me, just so you know. And I just looked the numbers. I said 3113, which is like a reflective number of itself. It is a palindrome of numbers. So it means that I'm like looking in the mirror right now, okay? Hmm. Stop trying to skip forward to the next chapter, which is what I'm always doing. I always want to like skip ahead in things because I want to know it already. And then instead of like knowing it in the fast-paced way that I want to, I end up holding back for years and years and years because I don't feel like committing to the little path of like learning as I go. But I have been, and I'm committed to it. Um, I'm just looking at things around me because this concept of what you have is already with you. I have all these canvases that I need to paint. But like I had to go to Hobby Lobby today to help my son with a project to get him a poster board. And I was like, we have to like run through this store because I'm going to want everything because I'm going to want to be distracted from what I already have that I've already started working on because I never like to finish anything. Okay. Because I just don't think enough of myself, but I have to be the hunter, not the hunted. So time to be wise and follow what's within. Okay. Better to be completely present in the now. From here, the next phase will naturally happen without force on your part. And that's what I'm saying about you have to wait for God's timing. Sometimes that means like, sometimes you can see the astrological alignments that have just like put you in a holding pattern, which for me, I have seen that very clearly over this past year that I know that I'm inspired to do so many things, but I just don't feel like it's properly aligned for me or it's not time for it. And, I feel like I'm procrastinating. But at the same time, that's what I was talking about with going to see this woman at the church. She kept saying that she was asking, like, God, is it time for me to tell my story? And his answer was always no. And she would go to the water. It's almost like she's the woman with the seashell. His answer was always no, not yet. No, not yet. And then she finally like got to the water one day when she had moved to Georgia. She was like from New York, where I'm from. Then she moved to Georgia to be with her daughter. And she finally got the answer of yes. Now, what does that literally mean? It means some feeling within you, okay? Don't let anybody try to rush you and don't bully yourself to go before you're ready, okay? I'm seeing like 33, 37 on the timer, which is just the Holy Trinity. It's like sacred, divine backing on this thing, okay? It's like the Three of Pentacles, but with everything sacred. And so what I'm trying to tell you is that I feel like I finally got my yes. I'm like, I don't want to tell my story, but do I need to? And I'm like feeling this uncertainty of like, no. But I have recently felt very clearly that okay, now it's time. You've had enough time to like live your life, tell your stories, tell the trauma, not sit in your feelings. And now you've been buying for years. I've been buying for years all of this potential energy. And now it's time to turn it into kinetic things. Does it have to be good? Absolutely not. It just has to get done. It just has to become something. Okay. And that's all I'm focused on right now is that my goal, it used to be like perfectionism, right? And now it's like the only perfectionism that I have is committing to it every day. That's the only thing that would make it perfect is if I commit myself every single day. Okay. All right. And if I miss a day, then it's possibly because I was guided to do something different. Let me just get through this and we're going to leave it off here. And it was 3450, right? So I see those as ascension numbers 3, 4, 5. All right. It might not seem like you have much to start with. Perhaps you feel that all you have is small, simple choice to make, is a small, simple choice to make. Perhaps you have a song to begin, an email to send, a conversation to start, or a sketch to let loose. However small, it is enough to get the ball rolling. Don't make the mistake of believing that what you need is behind you, lies with another, or is yet to appear. You have all that you need to take the step in your life, and from that, all else will flow. And there is a sweetness to that. It is a small pleasure at first, but one from which greater pleasures can unfurl. This message is amplified if you have also drawn the oracle of every journey starts with a single step, or the oracle of what do you feel, which we did not get those, I don't believe. Nah. So, but we got wisdom. All right. We got wisdom. We got like intuition on its side. We got so many things that allow us to know that everything that we need is already here. Okay. Um, This oracle also comes with special guidance for you. You are more ready than you think you are. You are more prepared than you realize. You don't need an entire army of resources to move ahead. So I didn't need the whole army, even though I was in it. That's not where I needed to be strong. It's like all the things that I have learned, all the support that I have that's out there. It's invisible, but all of my friends that I had met through the army, they're all like this spiritual force field that supports me and strengthens me and protects me. Okay. And I know they're out there and I love them so much. And man, I wish all of you get to have that in your lives. Although you may find that when you do move, many resources suddenly become apparent. All that you need in this moment is just one sweet act of nourishment. And I have had so much from my friends around me lately. It's incredible. That is enough to take you out of backwards nostalgia or regret and forwards into what is awaiting you now. Be brave, dig deep within, and enjoy the sweet surrender. And just so you know, all of that stuff is invisible. This concept of being brave and digging deep within, it's all invisible. The only thing that shows up in the world is you just taking the steps forward to doing the thing. Nobody else knows how much experience you have or whatever. So that's why they say fake it till you make it. You don't have to fake anything. You are physically there doing the thing, so just do it, okay? Healing process. Hug yourself by wrapping your arms around your body. Can you summon love for yourself? Feel what comes up for you with this. Do you think it's silly and resist it? Of course you do. I know you do. Can you soften and melt into it? Feel love for yourself. You are as deserving of love as anyone. Can you accept this love from yourself now? Because if you can't, you will never be able to really experience it from somebody else, okay? I promise you. Feel your heartbeat in your chest and the flow of your breath. You are alive. You are connected to life, and you can trust in yourself, your own mind, your own body, your own breath. Just be with yourself and know that all is going to be okay. Reassure yourself that letting go of the past is as natural as the passing of the seasons of life. When you are ready, stand up, open your arms wide, and hold them above your head for a moment. Imagine your heart and hands are open and shining out the beautiful light that is within you. Imagine the universe receiving it and saying yes to you. If you are feeling cheeky and ready, send a big yes back to the universe and laugh. That's all. It's enough. You are enough. So be it. Okay. So hug yourself. And when you're ready, stand up and be that, right? There is something about a winner that when you win something, I have like, you've seen people do it. Okay. My ex-husband used to be a fighter for a very short period of time. And, we used to watch a lot of UFC, but like one or two times he fought and won a fight. And the first thing that people do when they win is that they put their arms, it's like you are this expansion of like a star shape, right? It's like you can't help but do it. So guess what happens when when you're doing this, you're like protecting yourself, but like this is a hug. So that's why you do the protection, you energize yourself, and then you expand it out like that. And don't be afraid to take up space. Okay. That's when people take you seriously without having to say a word. Men, they like kind of sit like this. And if you're like in classes on like how to take ownership of a room or how to have more power or how to blah, 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 whatever. It's like men expand themselves, okay? And women contract themselves. They cross their legs, they do all this stuff, right? So I'm telling you, just expand your space like that and see if it doesn't like change what actions you take after that or how people perceive you. I just saw 3939. What's that add up to? It's 1212. For me, when I see 1212, I see it as a multiplication of itself, okay, which is 144. And 144 is like a sacred number for what they say are the chosen ones, okay? So if you've had fuck ton of problems and you've had a hard ride, I promise you, you're probably a chosen one. Okay. So come along with me and let's do this thing together and be honest about it. All right. I love you. Peace. I will see you at the next time we meet at this table. All right. Bye.